Man handcuffs himself to her cheating wife and then kills himself to teach her a lesson. The movie starts with a girl named Emma, who is in a hotel room with a black guy named Tom. Tom is talking to Emma romantically and is trying to get touchy with her. However, Emma declines his advances and gets up to leave. Tom is confused as to why is Emma behaving in this manner, but Emma is adamant on leaving. It turns out that Emma is cheating on her husband with Tom and was in that hotel room for a fun night. However, her conscience wakes up at the last minute and Tom is unfortunately not able to hit it that night. Emma leaves in her car and takes out a ring from the glove box. She wears the ring, and it is revealed that it is her anniversary tomorrow. Next day, Emma goes to her husband, Mark's office. She takes the lift and is greeted by Mark's secretary who gives her some flowers and congratulates her on her anniversary. She goes into Mark's office and finds her old file on his table. She takes a photo of a man from the file, whose one eye is injured. She has a flashback of getting stabbed in the back by some guy in an alleyway and she gets a little traumatized. Mark comes into the office and she attempts to hide the photo. He says that he wanted her to wear the red dress and they can stop by the apartment later to have a change of clothes. Mark catches the picture of the man in her hand and says that seeing it will only bring back her traumatizing memories. She inquires about the file, and he replies that the police are revoking the man's parole. She asks if he misses putting the bad guys inside of jail instead of keeping them out. He replies that he is happy doing what he does, and he does not have to do any sort of dirty work. It turns out that he is a defense attorney. However, he does miss the carefree girl that Emma used to be in the past and shows her a happy picture of herself. They both take the lift down and are encountered by Tom, Mark's employee, and the black man from yesterday's night. It turns out that Tom has been sleeping with his boss's wife. However, they both pretend that they don't know each other. Tom discusses with Mark some work details and takes his leave from the lift at the next stop. Mark and Emma go to a fancy anniversary dinner that night and Mark orders some exquisite dish. He also got Emma a nice gift. She opens it and finds a beautiful platinum necklace in it. Mark asks her to try it on, however she doesn't look much excited for it. They observe a romantic couple in the background where a man is proposing his girl. Emma has also got Mark a gift, 2 tickets for the Super Bowl. Mark is not interested in it as the team suck this year and he rejects the gift rudely. He gets up and makes Emma wear the necklace himself. Emma goes to the washroom and finds the girl who got proposed before sobbing in a stall. She tells her that nothing is permanent, and she can change her fate if she wants. However, the girl shuts her up and tells her to mind her own business. Mark and Emma leave and leave the Super Bowl tickets as a tip to the waitress. Outside the restaurant, Mark has another surprise for Emma and takes out a black handkerchief out of his pocket. He blindfolds her and takes her on a drive to some place that Emma doesn't know. Emma starts getting awkward and asks Mark where they are going. However, he refuses to tell her and doesn't let her take off the blindfold as well. However, Emma keeps getting reckless and takes off the blindfold. She finds that they are going to their old lake house which Mark had renovated for their anniversary. Emma takes off her blindfold again inside the house as Mark has prepared a surprise for her. She follows a trail of roses to a reddish room where Mark had hanged a plethora of their pictures. She finds a record with a note that says "Play me." She plays it and a song starts playing. She gets happy and follows the trail of roses and candles to the master bedroom on the 2nd floor where Mark is waiting for her with wine in his hand. They share wine and Mark apologizes for bad relations between them and promises to make things better between them. Things get frisky no later and they start making out and do the deed then and there. Next morning, Emma wakes up after a night full of fun. Mark is sitting at the bedside and asks how her night was. Emma finds that she is handcuffed to Mark. She asks Mark about this, and he shoots himself in the head, splattering his blood and brains all over Emma's face. Emma gets horrified and tries to escape, but she is handcuffed to dead Mark. She tries to free herself from the dead body, but to no avail. She cries and screams for help, but there is no one in that wilderness to help her. She tries to call for help too through a satellite phone, but it can't seem to connect. She then tries to shoot the handcuffs using Mark's gun, but it has no bullets as Mark had cleverly used the last bullet to shoot his brains out. Having no other option, Emma decides to drag Mark's body around. She drags it to a small, attached room. There she finds her wedding dress, hanging in plain view. She finds a safe behind it too. She takes the wedding dress and uses it to drag Mark's body more easily by using it as a sled. However, going down the stairs proved difficult as she trips and tumbles down the stairs with her dead husband's body. She pushes away Mark's dead body and gets up. She finds her purse and empties it but can't find her phone. Mark had also taken care of it and submerged it in a vase of water. She retrieves it and tries to use it, but it malfunctions and is inoperable. She then scours the house for something that would help her but finds nothing. She empties the trash and finds the keys to the car. She then goes outside to the garage, walking nearly barefooted in the snow, dragging Mark's dead body along. She reaches the garage and gets in the car with Mark. She starts the engine, but the car shuts down and she finds out that Mark also had emptied the tank and now the car was inoperable due to there being no fuel. Suddenly, a voice message from Mark plays in the car. He commends her on reaching this far and tells her that she was nothing without him. She was just a failed photographer. He reveals that he already knew about her affair with Tom. He already wanted to die but didn't want her to live happily after with Tom. So he orchestrated all this so Emma wouldn't be able to have it easy after his demise. Emma drags him back home and goes to the bathroom to wash his brains off her face. She finds the diamond necklace still in her neck and tries to take it off, but it doesn't come off. She decides to search the basement in hopes of finding something that might help her. She throws Mark's body in first and finds that the basement has been wiped clean by Mark too and there are no tools that might help her. She now has to drag the dead body up the stairs. She tries taking it up but fails and comes tumbling down from the halfway up the stairs. She is now hella frustrated and screams in the dead body's face, calling it a hypocrite. She reveals that Mark had also been a cheater and she had to wipe lipstick and glitter off his clothes so many times. However, she doesn't give up and tries to drag the body upstairs one more time and succeeds this time. Her wrist is injured due to her dragging the corpse around, so she bandages it with a cloth. She then goes to the darkroom and finds the pictures from the day she was stabbed by an unknown assailant back in the day. This was all done by Mark so he could traumatize her more, even while he was dead. She finds a big picture of her attacker. She gets traumatized and gets flashbacks of her getting stabbed. She also finds a recording that says "Play Me." She plays it and it's the recording of her when she first met Mark, when Mark was a district attorney and came to take Emma's statement after the incident. She describes how things went down that day and how she mutilated her attacker with the keys in her hands and popped out her attacker's eye. However, listening to all this again makes her lose it and she goes into a fit of rage, destroying the record player. She hears the sound of a car coming from outside. An unknown figure tries to come in. She freaks out and barges the door shut. However, she hears the sound of the man outside and recognizes him. It's Tom, her fun black dude whom she spent her fun nights with. She unintentionally hit his nose while closing the door. Tom tells her that she sent some messages asking for help and he came dashing to help her. However, Emma doesn't have any clue what he is talking about as she never sent any messages. She reaches the conclusion that Mark sent those messages to Tom. Tom asks about Mark and Emma shows him the dead body of Mark she had been dragging along all day long. Tom freaks out seeing Mark's dead body and asks if Emma had already called the police. She tells him she hasn't been able to do so as Mark had taken care of her phone. He also tells her that police raided Mark's office last night and found out that he was involved in illegal activity. He was already doomed, so he decided to pull down Emma too with him. Tom points out that they have to set their story straight before calling the police. Emma is confused as to why because it is evident that Mark killed himself. However, Tom is a seasoned lawyer and points out that she washed her face off and police is definitely going to assume that Emma is the one who killed her husband. Emma points out that Mark removed everything that could help her and right now she only wants to get free of this nightmare of dragging the corpse of her dead husband around. Tom gets it and agrees to call the police. However, he remembers that he left his phone in the car. He sees a car coming from a distance and remembers passing by it a mile back. They both get suspicious as to why someone would come into that wilderness unless invited. Emma proposes to run, but Tom points out that it's not really possible with dead Mark tied to Emma. He decides to be a hero and pushes her inside the house and asks her to close the door behind him. He then waits for the newcomers. A guy comes out of the truck with some tools and asks Tom if he is the owner of the property. Tom replies no and tells him he would have to come another time. The guy tells him that some Mr. Webster had asked him to come fix a burst pipe. However, Tom refuses to let him inside. Tom asks what the money was settled upon, and he would reimburse them for their efforts. The guy replies with $200 and Tom pays him, all in cash. The guy is still adamant on getting inside and asks if he can use the utilities, to which Tom replies that they are out of order. The guy asks if Tom has some problem with him and Tom says that the guy has come all the way from Buffalo's just to fix a burst pipe. He also points out that his truck has Indiana's plates. So yes, she has a problem with the guy. Tom asks the guy to leave. Seeing this, another gut comes from the truck. Tom yells at the first guy to leave ASAP, seeing the other guy coming towards them. The first guy agrees to leave and tells the other guy to leave with him too, but the other person doesn't listen to him and brutally stabs Tom in stomach. Emma listens to all the commotion outside and hides behind a wall. Tom gets stabbed multiple times, and the other guy comes in. It is revealed that he is the same guy that stabbed Emma all those years back. Seeing him back traumatizes Emma as she holds her breath behind the wall. The big guy is called Bobby, and the other guy is his younger brother named Jimmy. Jimmy freaks out and frantically apologizes to Tom, who is breathing slowly as he nears death. Bobby calms him as he goes upstairs looking for some diamonds and tells Jimmy to yell for him if he comes across the woman named Emma. He goes to the bedroom and finds the safe. Emma escapes and goes to the boat shed. Jimmy finds the blood trail and follows Emma. Emma finds an axe in the boat shed and uses it to mutilate Mark's hand so she can be free. However, Jimmy comes in the boat shed. He finds Mark's dead body and freaks out and runs towards Bobby and comes back with him. Emma is hiding beneath the boat. Bobby reveals that Mark was the one who hired him to come to the lake house and kill Emma and retrieve the diamonds from the safe. Jimmy points out that he was the one who put Bobby away too when he stabbed Emma. Jimmy says that as Mark is dead, so they should just get the diamonds from the safe and run away, leaving Emma as she would be miles away now. But Bobby replies that only 2 people know the combination to the safe and one of them is lying in front of them, with his head open. He sees Emma's footprint and says she couldn't have gone far without shoes, and both leave the boat shed. Emma takes a sigh of relief and gets out of the hiding. She bandages her feet and finds a can of fuel in the boat. Bobby is looking for Emma in the house while Jimmy looks at the safe and says that it needs a combination as well as a fingerprint, probably Mark's. He gets frustrated and goes towards the boat shed to retrieve Mark's body. Emma is hurling the fuel can towards the garage. He hears Jimmy coming and hides in the snow. As soon as Jimmy passes, she continues towards the garage and finally reaches it. Jimmy attempts to carry the body but is grossed about it. Bobby also comes out of the house and hears some noise coming from the garage. Emma is filling the car with fuel when Bobby comes in and starts looking around. Emma manages to hide from him. However, Bobby punctures the tire using his knife. Emma escapes the garage and finds Jimmy out in the open, dragging the corpse of her beloved husband. She goes into the basement through the side entrance. Bobby also decides to enter the basement after her. Emma tries to go into the house, however Jimmy has also entered the house dragging Mark. Emma is now sandwiched between Bobby, who is in the basement searching for her, and Jimmy, who is upstairs hurling her dead husband's body. As Bobby is about to find her, she cleverly sounds the car alarm through keys she had in her pocket. Both Jimmy and Bobby run towards the car and Jimmy goes under the car to turn the alarm off somehow. Emma uses this opportunity to grieve Tom and hold his hand one last time. Bobby figured out that she was still in the house, and she sounded the alarm to distract them. He motivated Jimmy to put an end to her as he blames her for spending 10 years in prison and losing their house too. Both start their search for her. Jimmy goes through the back entrance while Bobby takes the front door. Jimmy points out that Tom was missing his shoes. Bobby takes to the upstairs and decides to search the attic. Jimmy goes to the picture room and finds a picture of Bobby. Bobby searches the attic, and as he is about to find Emma, who is also hiding there, Emma comes out of the hiding and smacks his head using a golf club. Bobby smashes through the ceiling and comes crashing down to the first floor. Jimmy hears all the commotion and comes rushing upstairs. However, he is also attacked by Emma, who then locks him up in the bedroom and breaks the doorknob. She takes the truck keys off Bobby and runs outside towards his truck. She gets in the truck and is about to escape when out of nowhere, Bobby comes crashing through the window and grabs her. She tries calling 911 through a mobile in the truck. An operator picks the call up and yells for help when Bobby snatches the mobile from her and thrashes it. Jimmy comes running outside and fears that cops might be coming soon. Bobby is pinning down Emma and is adamant about retrieving the diamonds from the safe. Jimmy insists on running away, so Bobby pins him down too and threatens to kill him too if he doesn't cooperate. Jimmy listens to Bobby and goes inside the house. Emma tells Bobby that she doesn't know the combination and Bobby shuts her up with a boot to the face. Emma wakes up in her bedroom, handcuffed again to her hubby. Bobby and Jimmy drag the safe outside into the bedroom. Bobby tells her that the combination to the safe is the date Mark proposed to her. He attempts to torture her, so she tells them the date. However, Emma knows that the moment she tells them that, Bobby would kill her, so she keeps her mouth shut. Jimmy tries to stop Bobby, but he pushes him away. Jimmy finds Mark's gun on Bobby and points it at Bobby as he is about to cut Emma's toes off. Bobby is taken aback by this. Jimmy tells him to leave the dagger there and go stand by the safe. He then asks Emma for the date. Emma says that she would tell them the date only if first they set her loose. Jimmy agrees and sets her loose. Emma tells them the date and Bobby opens the safe using Mark's fingerprint and the combination. However, the safe is empty and there is a saw written in which is that the diamonds are in the necklace that Emma is wearing. Bobby says that they would have to cut off Emma's head. Emma freaks out and Jimmy attempts to get the necklace off her. However, it doesn't come off. Bobby pushes Jimmy away and attempts to cut off Emma's head. Jimmy tries to stop him, but Bobby pushes him back into a wall cloth hanger and he dies then and there. Emma takes his knife. Bobby blames Emma for all this. They both get into a fight and Bobby overcomes her easily. He takes the knife from her and manages to stab her in the leg. However, Emma manages to hit him with a tool and handcuffs her to Mark. She then escapes to the garage with Bobby in her tow. She manages to start the car and hits Bobby and then crashes into the boat deck. Bobby catches up and finds out that she has escaped the car and is now crawling on the frozen lake. Bobby goes after her and finally catches her. He attempts to stab her again but fails and instead gets stabbed in the shoulder. Ice beneath Mark's body breaks and it falls into the lake, dragging Bobby along, who drags Emma along too. They both fight in the freezing water too, where Emma manages to stab him in the other eye too and he drowns in the freezing water for good. She then tries to swim out but all she finds is the ice. She breaks through using Bobby's dagger and swims out. Police sirens wail at a distance, and she gets rid of her wedding ring too, which rolls into the lake, officially ending her marriage for good. Thank you for being a part of Black's Movie Recaps. If these tales of mystery and intrigue sent shivers down your spine, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Black's Movie Recap for more bone-chilling narratives. Stay tuned, and until next time, stay captivated.